about that time to start cleaning our perennial garden. Usually we want to do this in late February into March. It kind of depends on when and how mild our winters have been and when our spring wants to show up. When you start to see that new growth emerge, that's when you want to go ahead and prune and remove a lot of that old growth, that dead growth that still might be remaining. A lot of times we leave that through the winter months to add winter protection and just to help insulate it from those freezing conditions. But at this point, as we can start to see there's some new green growth coming on, we're going to remove a lot of this dead because we don't want to wait too long. If we do, we run the risk of cutting that new growth coming on. So you can see here, we have a lot of different perennials. They completely die back to the ground, and you can see this is a helianthus. I mean, we've got 4 foot, 5 foot tall stems here that have died, and that's how much it's going to grow each season. But we want to go ahead and remove this. And for this particular plant, it's best to use loppers because it's got some pretty thick diameter stems on it. So we're just going to go in there and clean this out. You can see here the basal growth that is starting already. So you're going to have a lot of plant debris. You might even consider wearing a dust mask or something, depending on how much you're allergic to pollen and just seeds, because there's a lot of stuff that's going to be stirring in the air when you do this. So this is one example with the helianthus. Here we've also got some daylilies that you can see have a lot of old growth coming around them still. And so that you can either use a leaf rake or just your hands to kind of go in there and clean that up a little bit. A lot of this, if it lays on the ground, it's fine, but we want to make sure to remove that out of the middle to allow for those plants to continue to grow. Now, something that has a smaller stem, such as this solidago or goldenrod, again, you can kind of go in there and just break it with your hands if you want. It's best to use gloves because they can be kind of sharp and cut you. Or you can use something like these hand shears and just go in and trim it. Basically, we're giving the garden a big haircut. And of course, as you're doing this, depending on how large your garden is, you can have a lot of organic matter left over, but all of this is great material to add to your compost pile. As you go through, sometimes you need to go ahead and just rake it all out of your way so you can see what still might be remaining that you need to cut. And you can see there are certain leaves that are in here and just other debris, and it's nice to go ahead and remove that. And of course, some of your perennials, such as phlox and some low-growing ground covers, really the best way to uncover those is by using a leaf rake and just getting some of that debris off the top of them. The nice thing about trimming back your perennial garden is you have plenty of time to do it if you start again kind of end of February going into March. We have plenty of time to get all of this done. And so it really doesn't have to be a go out and get it all done and break your back and sweat. Just take advantage of those nice winter days that we still have remaining and get out there and get that garden ready to go for next spring.
Hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.